Hey guys, welcome to YouTube channel where hedging, Peso matters. So for today's topic, we'll be discussing about dividends. So this is in relation to the revised corporation code. Nagkaroon po kasi tayo ng batas that revised the corporation code. Ito po ang pinaka-thrust ng topic natin. Whether or not the declaration of dividends has been affected by Republic Act number 11232 or otherwise known as the Revised Corporation Code. For us to properly address this query, we have to consider both provisions falling under the Batas Pambansa Blg 68 and Republic Act 11232. This law on the left pertains to the old Corporation Code and the law on the right pertains to the Revised Corporation Code. You can see there is no substantial change from the old provision to the new provision as provided under Republic Act 11232. This simply indicates that the corporation is still mandated by law to declare dividends. Why? Because stock corporations are prohibited from retaining surplus profits in excess of 100% of their paid-in capital stock, subject of course to the following exceptions. If merong corporate expansion or if there is a prohibition under the loan agreement entered into with a creditor that prohibits the corporation from declaring a dividend or dividends, then they may opt not to declare dividends. Also, if it can be evinced from the acts of the corporation that the non-declaration of dividends is for the purpose of probable contingencies, like in relation to this COVID pandemic where some of the corporation decided to defer the declaration of dividends. So, ipinagpaliban na muna nila ang pagdedeklara ng dividends dahil sa pandemya. Now, what are the forms of dividends? Dividends may be in the form of cash, property, and stock dividend. But for this discussion, we'll focus on the last three, property dividends and stock dividends. Now, also take note that no dividends can be declared out of the capital except for liquidating dividends. So, hindi po ibig sabihin na nakakita tayo ng corporation na nagbibigay ng malaking dividend yield, have to jump in immediately. Mag-ingat po tayo because the dividends that they are declaring must be ascertained para malaman natin kung anong klaseng dividend ba ang dinedeclare nila. Kasi kung liquidating dividend yan, they are at a stage where they have decided to give up on the corporation. That's why liquidating dividends are given at the dissolution stage. Before tayo bumili, tignan muna nating mabuti kung ang dinedeclare nilang dividends ay cash, property, or stock dividends. I want to reiterate that wag po tayo dun sa liquidating dividends because the word liquid means that they are already selling all their assets, their properties, for the satisfaction of the obligations they have entered into. Alright, so let us now proceed. Property dividends, this kind of dividend can be declared by mere board resolution from unrestricted retained earnings. A board resolution kasi is a document that reflects the decision of the board of directors that they are planning to do such a project. So let us say, for instance, there is a corporation that wants to import capital equipment or any machineries. It must be embodied in a board resolution because without the board resolution, the corporation has no power to act. Alright, moving forward. Number 2, this can be payable to holders of delinquent stock but to be applied to the unpaid balance on the subscription plus cost and expenses. For us to fully understand, let us illustrate. Now, this requirement under Batas Pambansa Blg 68 provides that 25% of the authorized capital stock must be subscribed and 25% thereof must be paid upon incorporation. Now, let us say meron tayong 1 million authorized capital stock. 25% of this must be subscribed and wait, I'll just move this. 25% thereof is 250,000 and 25% paid is 62,500. So itong 187,500 na unpaid may be declared as property dividends. So we have to be watchful kung nagde-declare sila ng property dividends kasi baka merong unpaid subscription that warrants the payment of property dividends. This type of dividend can be declared by board resolution but requires the approval of 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock. So hindi lang board resolution pag stock dividends. We have to consider the approval of the 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock. Ano po ibig sabihin nito? Yung 2/3 na shareholder must have given their consent or they must have agreed to declare stock dividends. So board resolution plus approval of 2/3. Alright? Alright. May a corporation opt not to declare dividends? Well, a corporation may defer the payment of dividends provided that they fall under the exceptions we have mentioned earlier. But I don't think they will intentionally choose not to declare dividends kasi meron po tayong tinatawag na IAET, improperly accumulated earnings tax, which is imposed kapag hindi po tayo nag-declare ng dividends. So this improperly accumulated earnings tax of 10% is in the nature of penalty to a corporation that does not declare or that retains 100% of its surplus profits or earnings. So in short, it is a form of penalty tax, a deterrent to tax avoidance para mag-declare yung corporation ng dividends. And this has been affirmed by the Supreme Court in the case of Sinamid Philippines v. Court of Appeals, where it ruled that tax on improper accumulation of surplus is a penalty tax under the NIRC designed to compel corporations to distribute earnings so that the said earnings by shareholders could in turn be taxed. Ang rationale behind this is once natanggap na ni stockholder yung dividends, it forms part of his income. Being such, dapat i-declare ni stockholder yung natanggap niyang dividends as income to be declared or to be part of the income tax return. Since walang dineclare na dividends ang corporation, walang mailalagay si stockholder na kinita niya sa kanyang ITR. That being the case, ang magiging liable for the payment of taxes is the corporation. If you find this video interesting, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to like and comment. Of course, please subscribe. And again, thank you.